Welcome, Angry Faithful. We are back this Friday. We have some great news. If you're looking at us on YouTube, it was Americans Don't Need Money. And if you're looking up on X, yes, that's right. The title is correct. You are looking at Elon Musk has a chainsaw. Now, the thing with that, we're going to go over that real quick. Elon Musk went to a conference in the Algerian president there, and the Algerian president gifted a golden chainsaw to Elon Musk. Now we have video of this. It's endearing, really. It really is endearing. Let me go ahead and share that with you. Here we go.
This is chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw.
And all the Lord's people said, groovy.
I hadn't seen that one. Do you have the actual presentation where he was presented with it?
There was another presentation. That's the only one I found, Bill. I'm not gonna go through Elon Musk thing. That's kind of creepy. I don't know what you're. I can find it real quick. But the reason why he is giving him that golden chainsaw is because he is slashing a lot of the stuff, the bureaucracy and everything through Doge, and getting a lot of money from for the taxpayers, and that's what we're going to get into today. So far, and this is just an idea for right now. It's just an idea. What they are proposing is all the money that, a good portion amount of the money they're going to give back to the American people, 20%, and they're going to give like 20% to some other stuff, and they're putting the 60% back into a fund. Basically, what's the sovereign treasury fund?
The deficit. That's what I heard.
No, it's a sovereignty fund. Basically, what that is a lot of big countries have it. Norway has it. Saudi Arabia has it. Basically, it's a big fund to where the excess money that you, and the American people make through our products and everything, even oil, corn, whatever. Our products, our gross that we get as a bonus from that goes into this fund. That fund can go out, reinvest in other corporations, sometimes United States stuff, sometimes other countries, and it would basically cause like a buffer. It's like a rainy day fund, basically. But what they're going to think about doing is the first thing they're going to purchase with that sovereignty fund is they're going to purchase TikTok. And hopefully, because of that purchase, it's basically a stock. And you can buy into, basically, you can buy like a little bit of we'll just call it stock for right now, because this is what a lot of people understand. You can buy that, you can purchase that, and if the United States is making money, you get money back if it actually becomes a good investment. It's very good about investing for the countries. Now, one person went on Fox, and that's the reason why we're going. her face is posted on a thumbnail, and that is Jasmine Crockett, who is in the 30th district of Texas, which if you're in Dallas and you're in the 30th district and you happen to come across our podcast and you start listening to us, don't vote for her anymore, because she believes that the American people don't need the money that we're getting back. The money that we're supposedly getting back is like $5,000.
And right up front, being from Texas, America, I apologize for her.
Oh,
yeah, don't take her as a representative of the rest of the people, the God-fearing, law-abiding, gun-owning people of Texas. No, just don't do it. Sorry. Continue, guys, please. I'm sorry.
I think I found it. Yeah, here we go. And this is the gift. Oh, it was at CPAC. Yeah, it was happening.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw. All right. I love it.
It's Javier Miles.
Malay.
Oh, Malay, sorry. Javier Malay, that gifted him a, mind you, it's probably not gold. It's just shiny. But he gifted that him this week. And then he just then they dropped that bomb about giving the American people, from what they are saying right now, for anybody that paid taxes, they're going to get that money back. But it's supposedly, and I don't want to get people's hopes up, this is just hearsay for right now. It still has to go through a Senate, and it has to go through the House. We're looking at $5,000 paid back to the American people for all the discrepancies they have found so far. So
yeah, and they're not even done yet.
Yeah, they're not even percent. What would be really funny is they found more and more and more, because they haven't gone through all the departments yet. And a lot of people are saying that if they go through more departments, we get more money.
Well, you heard, what was it, the like the last 6 months, just from, I think it was either the Energy Department or the EPA alone, the last 6 months of the Biden administration, they pushed through. There's this company out of Georgia. It's supposed to be for like green energy and incentives and things like that. In 2023, they posted a net profit of exactly $100. And then in 2024, they received a federal grant of $2 billion. And they haven't shown anything that it's been used for. They can't account for any of the money and where it's at or anything like that. They've gone through. They found with the Pentagon having spent like $2 million to replace 25 self-heating coffee cups for the Air Force. The credit card accounts alone was like 90 million transactions last year. There was no oversight, there was no tracking, none of that. So I mean, they have found all kinds of just fraud and abuse. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Well,
absolutely ridiculous.
they do know where the 20 million is. And the thing is, Amuse, I'm sure you follow him on X. He has a really, really deep article on it. What they did right before Biden left office, they took and transferred that into a Citibank fund,
Yeah.
and in several different divisions, that was done in a way that we can't get it, we can't claw it back. There's no way. The way he did it, it would take congressional approval. And people are like, well, what are you going to do? Break the law and get back and break the law? No, it doesn't matter 100%. They're working to stop it so it can't happen in the future. Yes, they're going to get back as much as they can, but the main goal is stopping it. And why they went for all this, really, it sounds big, but it's all little stuff. So many billion here, so many billion there. It's really little stuff. And what they did was they went for that because it's enough to rile Americans. That they're doing what with money? Americans don't think billions, trillions. They can't think of that, but they think the issue. And if he'd have gone, well, he's not doing anything big. Well, if he'd have gone after Medicare fraud right off the bat, what does that mean to people? Okay, Medicare fraud, this massive number. Okay, but all this little stuff, it's getting out. All this is transparency. So even if he doesn't claw that money back, the public's going to know. They're going to see exactly what's happening, and it will get them pissed so that they will vote their people out. That's the main issue here, is voting them out. And transparency. Pam Bondi, a little while ago, they were asked about the Epstein client list, and she said, it's sitting on my desk for me to review right now.
Yeah.
Well, what I think that Elon's doing with the Doge, he's going like little things here, little things here. I think he's kind of taking the Dave Ramsey snowball approach to it. Is, you knock out all the small stuff, and then you can start piling on. It just steamrolls, it picks up momentum, and eventually gravity's going to take over, and you can knock all the big stuff out. So, I mean, I'm excited and also scared at the same time to see where this is going to go. And only scared in the sense that it's like, how far reaching, how far up the totem pole does the fraud, waste, and abuse go?
It's going to catch some Republicans. There's no doubt.
That I have no doubt. I mean, it's people like Dan Crenshaw, is his name on the list. Mitch McConnell, for sure his name is on the list. But I don't have any doubt that it's going to affect people on both sides of the aisle. But it's like with how I just. You want to just dive into the mindset of these people to try to figure out how or why they thought that they were so entitled to just dip into the coffers at will without fear of repercussion.
Well, they've been doing it for decades, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean they have, but it just kind of seemed like with the previous administration, everything just really kind of took off and got extremely rampant.
Worse because it wasn't a person that we voted for going in, and it was people that were basically fairy tale idealists that wanted to do one thing, that weren't voted into our presidency. What was happening? It was bureaucrats. They've been there for decades. And what they said, they were like, you know what? I think I can make this a better place. And they tried their dearest. I mean, a lot of the funds, even with the USAID, the USAID stuff was more or less a big eye opener to a lot of people. Stuff was going for stupid stuff. I mean, I understand that we need to know how much a woodchuck could chuck wood, but I'm not paying $20 million for that. Okay. It wouldn't be surprising about it actually coming off of that. And another thing that with like the Social Security stuff was the amount of people they found in there that were 150 years old.
Oh no, there was some that were over 200 years old. Some that were collecting like 250, I think it was.
Yeah. It was okay. One, the Social Security hadn't been formed until like 80 years.
Social Security is only 90 years. The program itself is only 90. Well, yeah. Well, no. No, I think you're right. I think it is 80 because it was created in the 30s as part of the New Deal.
No, you're right.
Late 30s.
It's almost 90. It was established in 1935, August 14th, 1935.
Yeah, it was part of the New Deal with FDR, I think it was.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you're seeing thrown around is that, well, it's a lie. It's stupid because it's how COBOL handles numbers. It's a programming error. If you know COBOL, but liberals are throwing that everywhere. But I tracked it down. There is one programmer who made that statement, and they're copy pasting him everywhere. And I have not heard a rebuttal or heard any other programmer say that that's how COBOL works. And yes, COBOL is an old language. When I went to college in the 80s, the language I learned was Fortran, which is even more archaic. So it's been around a long time. It needs to go in the systems, and that's what Elon's doing. He's basically IT specialist.
Yeah,
that's what he is. He's upgrading our systems. I mean, I had a relative who said that they found a system that had Windows 95 on it, running some internal. Of course, it wasn't accessing the internet. It probably couldn't, but running some internal routines. Windows 95.
It would probably die from the stuff that it would. The computer viruses that it get.
Well, that's what I said.
Fact, a lot of casinos.
It's running internal software. Do what?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's running internal software programs that were written 20 plus years ago that aren't updatable programs. So they just kept using it. It's like I've used TurboTax since it was DOS. And it would be like me going, well, I'll use my old Windows 95 system that has the DOS version of TurboTax on it, print out my taxes, and fine, I can mail them in. So they're using it in that manner. So it's just sitting there. Yeah, it's usable if you want to do that. But like they said, they're still doing things where they're printing out faxes and printing on duplicate with the carbon paper and then manually entering it. That's nuts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of casinos that use Windows ME for their networking. on their like in Oklahoma, a lot of the casinos up there in their slot machines use Windows ME for networking.
That's so strange.
Well, because years ago I used to work security at one of the casinos. And we would have to stand there and, provide security with the IT people, or one of the cashiers would have to open up a machine to empty out the cash drop.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have to reboot the computer inside the slot machine, and the screen would always pop up Windows ME, and I'm like, whoa. Like, wow.
I've seen Windows NT pop up several times, not too long back. I used to have a friend who worked security at Kiowa Casino right across the border. Every time I walked in the casino, I would go.
Now, what do you guys think if this actually happens? A lot of people are saying that if we do that, the Social Security, like the Social Security check stuff, the people that are technically stealing it, they're still providing stimulation to the economy, which is illegal the way they're doing it. But
Or are they?
Yeah, we could be totally wrong on that.
Well,
No,
here's the thing.
it could be going into other countries. It could be going into other countries. It's not necessarily spent here.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that was going to be my take on it. Was like, I want to see these individuals that are 100 plus years old that are supposedly still collecting Social Security. I want names, and I want them out in front of a camera somewhere. And if they can't produce it, hey. But I mean, especially with the ones that are like 200 and over 120 years old, it's like you can cut that off right now, because that is going into somebody's pocket, or that is being funneled through a number of different fronts, and it's being laundered and sent out somewhere else. It's stupid.
It would be like going to a dummy address. It's set up just to receive garbage like that, and then probably deposit or transmit it into some foreign account or numbered account, and gone. I have doubts that they're going to be able to nail down many people that are receiving that, because I think it's going to be an intricate laundering scheme. They'll be able to stop the payments. They'll go after the people, but actually catching them, I don't know.
Well, they stop stop the payment. Now, the thing is they actually did find a lot of them. It's like, I think, and this is just stuff I've seen, $2.7 trillion in overseas accounts. So, yeah, Johnny, you're absolutely right on that some of the stuff is going overseas, if the stuff that I found was correct.
Yeah, so I was listening to Mark Levin's replay from yesterday, his podcast. So I was listening to that today, and they were talking about this. And, instead of trying to, I think they said they're just trying to streamline the refund as much as possible, and verified naturally born or naturalized U.S. citizens are supposed to be getting this check, if and when they get it approved, because I mean it's the whole going through and finding out who's paying taxes, and because you could not pay taxes, like for example, like I don't pay taxes on my VA disability, right? But I still, I still file, I still file taxes, right? Because you have to file taxes. So whether they're through income credits or whatever, you can, actually, or even like deductions, you still end up getting some money back, even if you don't pay into pay in as far as like federal taxes are concerned. Because like I pay property taxes, I get a credit for being a homeowner, blah, blah, blah. But so they're just doing it across the board. U.S. citizens are supposed to get that refund when they get it approved.
Yes.
Well, now you're talking about the refund, the $5,000. Now the $5,000, that's based on what they think they'll get back. And the $5,000 is a 20% of it's 20% of whatever they get back.
Yeah,
and I hope that they wait as long as they want, and then it's $5,000 per household.
Yes. Yeah, it's only 5,000. Well,
there's a lot of conflicting information, because I heard the report. I heard reports yesterday, today, and 2 days going back as far as like last week, that it's either per household or it's per person.
We won't know fully until all this stuff has gone through. It's just one of those things. And I hate to say it, that it's an attention grabber. The thing about it is, if this goes through, no one's going to vote for Democrats for like a long time in certain places.
Yeah.
Oh, they will, because you've got your drones, you've got your mouthpieces, and you've got your ideological morons out there. that'll vote blue regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Johnny, you're absolutely right on that. You're absolutely right. But the people that vote mid, I mean, California is a loss. New York is a loss. New Jersey's a loss. Most of what we'll call them Yankee states. I don't know if we'll get kicked off for that, but
speaking. Go ahead. I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. Speaking of California, the population, the latest population estimates, Texas is now the most populous state in the country, and they're estimating that there's going to double in population, or it's going to double California's population. So when they take the next census, if those numbers still hold up, guess what? California is going to lose some electoral votes.
Now he needs to change something. He needs to change something that they got passed during Biden a couple of years ago, is that they are counting non-citizens in the census.
Yeah,
they need to get rid of that. And in California, I was watching just a little while ago. I think it was some Republican congresswoman got hit by a tomato when they were talking about the rail system spending. And if you get a chance to watch it, Sean Duffy came up and was like, "Hey, you've been working on this thing for 17 years. It's gone nowhere." And he really put his foot down on, got to get rid of that. And the issue is, they're using cost plus contracts. That has to go. No government contract should be cost plus.
I think what they need to start doing is instituting a system where if you've got a government contract of any level, whether it be local, state, or federal, if it's like a construction contract, you've got deadlines, and if you exceed those deadlines, you pay a penalty per day past that deadline. And I guarantee you that if you started instituting a penalty system for exceeding the deadline, you would start seeing a lot more projects getting done ahead of time when they offer bonuses that way.
Right, and that's opposite of cost plus. Cost plus, it builds in extensions and cost overruns and delays. They get if it's going to be delayed a year, okay, it's going to be delayed a year, so we'll give you extra funds. We'll give you so much to spend in extra funds. And it goes on and on and on, and that's why you've got projects going 3, 4, 5 plus years beyond. They have no incentive to complete it on time. And most of Elon's contracts are fixed. Most of Elon's contracts are fixed when they talk about his contracts. So
that was another thing they mentioned on a lot of stuff of throwing stuff at Elon, see if it sticks, that he's a bad person, is he got like $400 million. And I think you said that, Bill, a couple of weeks ago. He got $400 million, but it was from the Biden administration to do electric cars. Is that correct?
No, I mentioned a couple of things, not about electric cars. He was supposed to get 600 and something million, I think, for Starlink to rural areas. In the spendulous BS Green Deal, there was so much allocated to helping rural America get internet. And just as everything else, they had Elon, they completely canceled that contract. So when people say, "Oh, Elon got such and such amount," no, that was canceled. He did not get that. The one of his latest contracts, the last one he got was for a little over 700 million. He got last September, I think, and it's for 9 launches. Now, you think about 700 something million for 9 launches. NASA using their own rockets is generally over $1 billion a launch.
Yeah.
And that 9 launches, at least 2 are going to be surveillance satellites that are generally more expensive to launch. His rate runs around $68 million for the average launch, to launch a satellite. Yeah. And it can go up to $150 million for heavier payloads. it can reach over 200 million with some of the government ones because of the different secrecy and all of that. That's extra security that's involved in it. But still, you think 700 something million for 9 launches. People go, oh, Elon, we're paying him this money. No, you're not subsidizing him. You're buying a product, and you're buying a product that would cost lots and lots of times more if NASA was trying to do it themselves.
Yeah.
In fact, they should just cancel the whole damn Artemis project from NASA and Lockheed and Boeing, and they should just give the whole thing to Elon. They already moved
I saw he put out a
the
tweet
lander
today.
to Elon.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from Elon today talking about it's time to start planning the deorbitization of the space station. It's outlived its time or whatever. He's like, let's go to Mars, like he's all about it. But I mean, it's because you think about it, the ISS is really serving no more purpose up there. I mean, they're starting to recycle scientific experiments, and you look at the way that NASA shit the bed with that Boeing Starliner.
Yeah.
I mean, it stranded those 3 astronauts up there for like an additional 8 months.
Yeah. Luckily, Elon's
There-
getting them down.
There was a good back and forth on X with Elon and the commander of the space station, and you read that, you're like, oh man, he's not going to be doing any more space missions with Elon. He's not going to be doing anything with Elon after this. Yeah, Elon already has the contract for the deorbiter, and it's for 2030, and people are like, oh, he's wanting to get it down just to get money. Get more money. He already has the contract. If he deorbits it earlier, he's losing money because he also sends supplies and astronauts to it.
Yeah.
So that's another idiot argument I've gotten into.
I did find a photo that was posted by Chris Jacka, our beloved mountain man. Thank you, Chris.
Who?
And it's a picture of government agencies trying to hide their waste from Doge. And
nice.
Thank you, Chris, for posting that. Now, saying that,
Yeah, hold on, Dave. To answer your question, Bill, as to who Chris the Mountain Man Jacka is, he is our beautiful bearded bastard and co-host of our Nerd Sports Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fellow infantryman and lover of all things cuddly. So there you go.
yes. Now, after saying all of that about what they've actually cut, we'll get into the next section right now. I found the video, and hopefully the person that get it from didn't add some stupid shit. I will delete the stuff from it. It's coming from Alex Jones, so spare me if the video is there. We go. It's coming
for all Americans, and there will be accountability.
Cash Patel.
Okay.
Man, she was happy. Watch her expression.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Now, let me see if I can get in the speech area. There we go. Okay, we're gonna quiet it down a little bit until he gets. Everybody's graduating.
Wow.
Wow. First and foremost, we were just with President Trump, and I just want to thank him. I know he's not here in the room right now, but what a ride we have been on, what a courageous warrior and leader he has been, and the faith and trust he has put in me to lead the FBI is the greatest honor that I'll ever have in my life. And to General Bondi, that sounds pretty freaking cool. Pam, you're my sister, you're my mentor, you're my friend. You're my boss, and the confidence you have placed in me, I will never violate that trust. The men and women of the FBI will be led under your leadership through one standard, Constitution. So thank you for entrusting me. Oh man, this is effing crazy. So obviously you don't get here alone.
This is effing crazy.
He said that several times.
Because of my friends, and you're literally in this room because you made it happen. My sister Nisha and my nephew Aryan flew in from London just to be here. My beautiful girlfriend Alexis is here. Yes, I agree. My aunts and uncles are here. They've come from all over the country. I am living the American dream. And anyone that thinks the American dream is dead, look right here. You're talking to a first-generation Indian kid who's about to lead the law enforcement community, the greatest nation on God's green earth. That can't happen anywhere else. To the senators and the men and women of the United States House of Representatives, you placed an enormous trust in me, an enormous leap of faith. One that I didn't know that I could possibly earn back, but I'm going to spend every single day on this job doing so. The fact that you placed the confidence you did in me has inspired me to reach new heights at this job. I promise you the following. There will be accountability within the FBI and outside of the FBI, and we will do it through rigorous constitutional oversight starting this weekend. This is great. We all used to live in the same freaking house. Yeah, I don't have any prepared remarks. I wish I could go around the room and, tell the story about how each and every one of you have magically touched my life to put me in this position. What a roller coaster ride it has been. I do know this. We are in this room together because you guys have a love of country that is truly inspirational, and it bleeds out everywhere we go. And if you look around this room, you see civil servants, you see warriors, you see attorneys, you see great husbands and fathers and mothers, and wives. And we're fighting for the same thing, our future, our children, this guy. And there is no greater mission. I wish I had more words to thank every single one of you, but every time I look at every single one of you, you guys know the stories you can't tell. More importantly, the ones you can. This is, Pam and I were just talking in the back, and we were like, do you believe this? Like, we were on the campaign trail together. We were attorneys in the first administration together. Now we're here. She's the Attorney General. I'm the director of the FBI. Like, this is insane. And I don't really fully believe it yet. I hope to, but I'm just not here without you guys. And look, I know the media's in here, and if you have a target, that target's right here. It's not the men and women at the FBI. You've written everything you possibly can about me that's fake, malicious, slanderous, and defamatory. Keep it coming, bring it on. But leave the men and women of the FBI out of it. They deserve better.
That's a lead from the front kind of mentality, and I love that.
And for those of you who think that there's going to be a two-tier system of justice, not with Attorney General Bondi. There's a singular system of justice for all Americans, and there will be accountability. And the reason that this mission is so important is simply the following. 100,000 people last year raped. 100,000 people died of CCP fentanyl overdose and heroin. 17,000 homicides. Violent crime is out of control. We cannot have a United States of America where that is acceptable, where someone dies every 30 minutes, where someone ODs every 7, where someone's raped every 6. That cannot be allowed to continue, and it will not be allowed to continue. Our national security mission is equally as important. Anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life and our citizens here or abroad will face the full wrath of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And if you seek to hide in any corner of this country or any corner of this planet, we will put on the world's largest manhunt and we will find you. And we will decide your end state, not you. We will uphold the Constitution. We will uphold ourselves to the Constitution. The men and women at the FBI, I have your back because you have the backs of the American people. You will be held to the same high standard. Any deviation from that standard will not be tolerated at this Federal Bureau of Investigation. The men and women at the FBI who make us safe deserve better, and they are going to get it with our leadership and your support. God bless America, and God bless every one of you. I love this country.
So I'm trying to reformat it back to where we had it. There we go. Now, saying all the stuff that he said, I mean, I watched him on the Sean Ryan show. I watched him on a lot of other podcasts, which he was on, and gracious to speak. He is a person that you do not, you want in the FBI only to do the job you're supposed to and not do political targeting, which since the initial thing of the FBI, that's what J. Edgar Hoover did. He kept a lot of stuff on like standby just in case a certain senator tried to do stuff that he didn't like, or they were trying to dismantle the FBI on a constant basis. And if he wore a dress, he wore a dress. But that was really just Russian propaganda, what I found out. I was really upset about that.
Now, everyone is trying to attack him, of course, and say, oh, Trump's administration is going to do all this illegal garbage. And what you're going to hear about him is, oh, he's going to fire judges. And, I was hit back with judges, get your dismissed for lack of evidence stamps ready. So is his intention to fire judges? So I asked Grok, love Grok, what his intention was. And here's what I got back from that. Patel has criticized the handling of cases like the Trump investigations and suggested that those involved in what he deems abuses of power, including potentially judges who approved certain actions, should be held accountable. Posts on X favor, such as those from Patriot Takes, have claimed that he wants to remove federal judges, pointing to statements where he called Republicans to address judicial overreach or corruption. However, these interpretations may amplify his position beyond what he has directly articulated. His public statements, like those in interviews or his book, focus more on limiting the influence of entrenched government figures broadly rather than specifying a mechanism for firing judges, which is constitutionally complex since federal judges are appointed for life under Article 3 of the Constitution and can only be removed through impeachment by Congress. So they're going to hit him where he, and like he states there, I'm following the Constitution. They're dotting I's and crossing T's. That's why the liberals are losing these lawsuits right and left.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Well, what's your take on it?
I mean, as far as getting, judges being fired, or just the whole, like the way that Kash Patel is talking about running the FBI.
The way that Cash
Because
tells me the FBI, I don't know anything about.
Well, okay. Here's my take on him. Okay, he has been a practicing lawyer. He has been involved with several FBI operations. He has been involved with several overseas operations, a lot of which are of the classified nature. Okay, this guy has the pedigree. He has well, I don't want to say pedigree. He's got the background. He's got the experience. And he has a fundamental understanding of the Constitution, the way that it was written as the original framework, the way that the Founding Fathers intended. I know that phrase right there is a hot button issue with the left because they want to try to take it, twist it out of context, just like the separation of church and state thing. Okay? I believe that Kash Patel is going to be the person that is going to right the ship over there at the Edgar J. Hoover building. He is going to revamp the image of the FBI, and that's not his intention. His intention is to have it run correctly, have it run according to the Constitution, have them operate within the confines of the Constitution, and rebuild the trust of the American people with the FBI. I think that is crucial. I think that is vitally important to the long-term success of that institution, and as well as the long-term success of our republic. Because and back me up on this, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Thomas Paine. He said, if men were of angels, then there would be no need for government or law. But because men are not of angels, a law and government are required, albeit a small but limited government. Okay? We need to have our checks and balances in place for a reason. We need to have laws in place for a reason. We've tried the utopian approach and it fails. It fails every time. Without the rule of law, chaos ensues, and when there's chaos, there's inevitably always going to be a struggle to fill that vacuum and establish a hierarchy or a power structure, and it's always going to be by the wrong people. So I think that Kash Patel's got his work cut out for him, but I think that this is a very climbable mountain. It's not an insurmountable task. So I say that we give him the space to do the things that he needs to do, and if that requires terminating the employment of federal agents because they're not adhering to the standard, then I say good riddance. Get rid of the trash.
Well, he will be going after federal agents. He said that, and I've heard this from many people who've been interviewed, the rank and file agents love him. It's that they're being directed to do garbage that's not right. So he's going to be firing a lot of the FBI leadership. And well,
you've had those few dissenting voices. Yeah, well, there's been those few dissenting voices that have put out videos that they're like, go ahead and try to fire me kind of videos. And it's like, you're going to be the first people with your necks on the chopping block.
Yeah. Well, so, it's like he exposed the Russian dossier. And here's what Adam Schiff sees every night in his nightmares.
Adam Schiff. Okay, so my wife asked a really good question, and this is a little off topic, but Bill, I need you to help us out here. Okay, so my wife asked me exactly what is censoring as far as like congressional censoring, because I know that Adam Schiff is being censored. And so can you explain that to our listeners, our viewers, exactly what censoring is?
Well, I can't get into the detail of the process, but basically it's just makes a statement, because there's no way they would get enough votes to, when you go to censure, you would ultimately want the person removed. But that takes 2/3 or 3/4 or something of
that takes a supermajority.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so that's not going to happen. So basically, censoring is just making a statement like "bad guy."
Yeah, it's
That's
almost like the
that's
modern
about
day
all it is.
impeachment, right?
You're
Oh, no, no, no,
bad.
no, no. It's actually not. Censoring is a formal statement of disapproval in the form of resolution that is adopted by majority vote. The term censor is not found in the Constitution. The world does not have to appear in the resolution.
That's why it's basically toothless. It's
Yeah,
basically for show.
yeah. It's
So
basically
did you happen to see the video going around? I think it was earlier this week, where the Speaker of the House was trying to read that resolution, and the Democrats were trying to shout him down, and he was like, "I've got all night, guys."
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know?
did see that.
Did that happen during the Votorama?
Yeah, I do believe it happened on either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I
Because
think it was. I think it was
I've
Tuesday
been
or Wednesday.
I've been going through a whole lot of news stuff to prepare for tonight's show. I gotta producing 3 shows and doing 3 shows. Now I'm doing 3 shows again. But keeping up with 3 shows, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try to keep it up. But
They
yeah,
make pills for that, David.
actually they make gummies for that.
Yes, they do, and you can get them from rather cost-effective subscriptions now. So there you go.
Yeah, and if we got the sponsorship from them, I would, do a sponsorship. Anyways, moving on to latest news.
We could do it. We could do a Halloween episode where you dress up as a big veiny shaft. That'd be awesome.
Hold on, when is
All right,
Halloween?
I'm sorry. We're embarrassing Bill. I'm sorry.
I don't think we're embarrassing Bill. He can do that himself. Halloween is on a Friday, so this year we'll be doing a Halloween episode as What the Hell. This is going to be awesome. Now, newest news that we have that just crossed my thing. Trump threatens Maine federal funding to tense exchange with state governor. And the reason why he's doing it, I'll go ahead and
The governor of Maine.
yeah, this is.
Do you have the video? Because actually, coincidentally, I was looking for that right now.
I got
coincidentally.
A video. I don't know how much of it. It's only in a minute and 32 seconds.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It'll have the whole thing.
Complied immediately, by the way. And it's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
So some very
I love the fact that Trump can stand up to these blowhards and just speak very plainly to them. It's like, look, I'm going to talk to you the way that your father should have spoken to you years ago while you were being raised. I mean,
it's a different
you can
Trump.
tell.
There's no animosity anymore between him and the press, for the most part. And did you see how he dressed?
With the gold tie?
Yeah, he was signing some executive orders earlier today, and he looks up and he goes, do you like the new look? That's first thing I said to my wife is, what's with the yellow tie? It's not the power tie of red or the general blue that you're more calm and receptive to the public. Yellow? I think that's the first time I've seen.
I don't think it's yellow. I think it's gold. because he's
It looked
but
like
Trump, it's
mustard.
gonna be cold.
It looked like a hot dog dripped down his shirt. I was like, it's mustard.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of mustard. Anyways, we're not going to get on the ties.
But I mean, the fact that he can speak to these people. I mean, he honestly could care less what they think of him. It's the status quo of how business is done on a day-to-day basis in politics does not matter to him. It's like he understands the way things should be done, and he's going to make sure he's going to go out of his way to make sure people understand that he is going to do exactly that. And I am here for it.
And he usually does a good job of answering questions. Sometimes he doesn't. Today there was a few that he didn't. He got hit with some rigged question, and he goes, "Excuse me, who are you with? Who are you with?" And I think they said maybe ABC or CBS, and he goes, "Figures," and went on to someone else. He just went, "Figures."
Well, he was doing that in his first administration, but now he's doing it a little bit more hardcore.
No, yeah, he would have attacked him. He would have attacked him.
Well, I mean, Carolyn Levitt, dude,
but
she is his press secretary is absolutely going to war with Whoopi Goldberg, and I love it. And I think ultimately I give it by the fall of this year, the View's going to be gone. It'll be gone because they've got lawsuits just stacking up out the wazoo as it is.
Well, they just fired
ABC.
They just fired 6 or 9 of their staff. I just heard it a couple hours ago was announced. Of the View were fired, and they were told to tone it down, and that was today.
Well, I doubt very seriously that the windbags that sit at that table are going to do that. One of them, maybe, but Joy and Whoopi, definitely not. And Ramon Simone, Raven Simone, I think her name is. Oh, she will march in step with her hobnail boots with Whoopi and Joy. They're going to be the reason why that show gets pulled off the air.
I'm having a big worry about Fox, though.
What was that?
See, Rupert's sons despise. They're liberal to the core. They're progressive. They despise conservatism, and he is about to die. I mean, he's old, and they said, when the Suns take over, which could be anywhere 3 to 6 months, completely take over without him there, they're going to want complete changes at Fox. Now, if they start jumping on Jesse and say, no, you can't do this, you got to do this, I really hope Jesse, Greg, and Tucker form something together. That would just be so great, and I can see it if the brothers take over, and that happens, and they really do an iron fist of we got to get rid of the conservative bent and move liberal. That Fox is done, and they're going to leave.
Yeah, that's another news that's really weird. Too is still the Elon Musk buying like MSNBC. Which I don't think it's going to happen.
No, that's a joke.
I thought he was supposed to buy the Constipated News Network.
Yeah, that's other jokes to go to. That's kind of a bummer. I toured the CNN headquarters back in 2017, and if you go on a vacation, you have a chance to do the VIP. Okay, upgrade $5-10 upgrade VIP. Do it, because we went around as a group of about 10 to 12 people, and they take you on a private tour where you've got a group of 100 gathered. We actually got into the control room, behind the glass, inside within the glass, in the control room. It went to commercial, and he goes, "Okay, everyone, stay here because I want you to see it when something's going on." So we waited till past the commercials. It is a ballet going on in there. But we were actually able to see it, them pull up the chyrons and cut to this, pull up this other interview. And it was fascinating. And I remember I came that close to asking to see the room where the news is created. It was such a good tour. I just couldn't run it with that, but I almost did. But CNN's going so down the tubes. That was a beautiful building. It had the tallest escalator in the world in it, and I was down on the bottom of the escalator holding my camera up to get views because I don't like heights, and it was tall. So it's a bummer that people aren't going to be able to experience that again. They even had a room, and I wish I could have done this, a room where you can pay to go behind the camera and do a mock broadcast with you, and then they give you the footage with the teleprompter, reading the teleprompter and everything. I saw the room, and you could pay so much and have that experience. So CNN was kind of cool as far as showy, and it's a bummer their building is they've left. But I don't think I think Elon would create his own network before he buy them.
Well, for a minute there, he had it on his X that he's looking for media organizations, and that's the thing right now is a lot of people are going to podcasts to get their information, and some of it is, and they're trying to be more informed and everything. Like the Sean Ryan show, he apologized for one of his episodes he put out. He does do.
Hey, Elon, if you're curious, we'll take the night slot. We'll take the graveyards.
if we can get it up and going, good. But yeah, it's one of those things that a lot of people are getting their news. Most of my news that I've got, like a lot of the information and everything, and how I use my mannerisms is Patrick Bet David. I listen to him all the time, and he has like Glenn Beck, a lot of other people. Today was he had Bryan Cranston, not Bryan Cranston. Who was one of the dudes that was at the fence on Range 15? One of the soldiers.
Is that a movie?
Dude, I don't remember.
He was on Mad TV. I'll look it up real quick.
Mad TV was awesome. You are watching Mad TV.
Well, SNL just had their 50th anniversary, so.
Yeah, I had the racist, what's his name on there? Tom Hanks. What a load of crap.
Oh, the pedophile?
I just watched a little bit of it. I didn't even watch the whole clip. He's done funny with that Jeopardy thing before. About 10 years, 8-10 years ago. But this one was just over the top. It wasn't even funny.
I mean, this guy, Forrest Gump, obviously an iconic role. He played Mr. Rogers, for crying out loud. And he diddles little kids.
What do you think? What do you think that? What is?
I've got Colin in the car with me, and he goes, cough, cough, Woody. Talk about Tom.
I saw that original movie. I was so into it because I'm into computers. I saw that movie 5 times in the theater, and I can still hardly even talk about the scene where Buzz falls off and broke his wing. It still hits me emotionally.
It's Brian Collin.
Oh.
That was the comedian. But he has like a number of people. He has Glenn Beck on there. He has Chris Cuomo on there.
Talking about Newsmax or News Nation?
No, PBD.
Oh, okay. Because I know that Glenn Beck still he does his Blaze thing.
Yeah, and Chris Cuomo is with Newsmax.
News Nation.
Yeah.
News Nation, yeah.
News Nation, yeah.
Which, in all reality, I like to listen to him and debate on certain shows and everything. You have to give it to him. He even says it himself that he was part of a news organization that you had to go through and be censored on a lot of stuff, and he did not like it. I mean, when you're raking in a whole crap load of money, I would be a drone. And if you called me, I'm like, yeah, I am, and I'm paid, and I'm buying some weird stuff.
Now, I actually I had never watched News Nation until 2 nights ago. I'm in the hotel in the Metroplex. I went there to see the Dallas Auto Show, and I'm in the hotel, and I can't pull up a guide, and I'm looking for Fox News.
Okay.
And I scan around, and I find News Nation, and here's who was on a News Nation program: Stephen A. Smith, Chris Cuomo, and O'Reilly. That was the most fascinating segment conversation I have seen, and they're actually doing a live tour together. The three of them.
That is Motley's crew right there.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo is actually, some of the times I've heard him, he turned where he actually articulates not from just liberal, all good, like a lot of them are. He actually comes up with, like Harold Ford Jr. Harold Ford Jr., I love listening to him because he will logically say, yes, we're doing this right. Yes, we're doing this wrong. You know, he'll actually reason through it. And
look, okay. I'm going to interrupt you on this. Look what he did on the DNC. He was literally the one going, look at all these upper echelons over here, these multimillionaires, and billionaires that pays a lot of money. Those things right there. And that he was talking about like the seats. He was like, we News Nation couldn't afford the $1 million to donate to the DNC, and that's the reason why these people are here. Pan the camera over, and he pans.
Oh yeah, I get it. At the at the DNC, this is why we have this lousy little spot here.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, I wanted to be on the ground doing this, but I want to showcase this.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember.
That was awesome. I'm sorry. If he actually starts doing actual reporting, I'll start listening to him more. And he does do actual reporting. He does go out and it's like, hey, the Democratic Party, because he's one of those people, he was born into the Democratic Party. He will not get away from it because that's what he's been into. Now, saying that, he still goes up and is like, but this is way Trump is doing stuff right. This is and he clarifies like legal stuff. He's like, no, this is, you can do this, the X, Y, and Z. Is it, in my opinion, it could be, a show, so everybody started watching him too, or it could just be he's being an actual good journalist, which we got very few of those nowadays.
I think he's moved into decent, good journalism. And I used to watch O'Reilly all the time. I really missed him. But that was nice seeing him again and seeing him interact. Seeing the three of them interact together. I mean, Stephen A. is really he's really come around toward conservatism. It's hilarious though, his interactions with Hannity. But they can really get into it. He's not quite as conservative as Hannity would like him to be.
Yeah, and Chris Cuomo's even been on Tucker Carlson. And I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of his. Every once in a while I'll listen to a couple of his episodes, but I'm not really a fan of it. And again, it's kind of the way that he talks, because he'll say something.
Talking about Tucker Carlson?
Yes, he'll say something, and he's like, "Well, this is what I believe, and this is what I understand." Blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know why you said that, but okay, I guess that's just it's his mannerisms, honestly.
Watch his show that he did on stage in front of the Australian media.
I did listen to that.
That was great.
It is.
It was better when he could do, when he had the staff to do all the deep dives that he did on Fox, and he dug up stuff that no one else was in the media. I'd see some little thing on the side, and I'd go, I wish they'd talk about that. And then all of a sudden, he would pull up the dirt. So I don't know how big a staff he had, but it must have been huge as far as research staff. He wrote his own scripts. He wrote his own scripts. But,
yeah, I like listening to Megyn Kelly's podcast here lately.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, man,
she's got amazing takes on things.
And her methodology is really great too. She has a whole program that's 3 hours long or something, and then she'll put out short clips that are about 12 minutes long that cover a segment, and then she'll come out with 60-second clips, and I get several of them a day, notifications of just a bit of the 12-minute segment. And I think that's a genius. And a few days ago, she started I think she's going to do a 5-minute daily 5-minute morning news summary, and she just started that.
That was, and now this is a segue to what I actually wanted to talk to. I was trying to figure out what I was talking about when we got to it. And mind you, Johnny, did you watch the one with Zachary Levi?
Not. I've seen a ton about him. I saw the one that he did with Megyn Kelly. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. That's the one I just recently watched.
Oh yeah, dude. I've always been a big Zachary Levi fan, but like just listening to him articulate his thought process here lately, it's refreshing to have somebody from Hollywood that was deeply ingrained in the liberal ideology suddenly wake up.
Oh yeah. And talking about that, apparently Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson are back on Fox.
Yeah. Well, if the brothers are supposed to take over and they're as liberal as everybody says that they are, that's not going to last long.
No. They more rounded way to describe this is they're being paid by Fox. Now they have an advertisement company that Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly go through that searches out advertisement dollars for their podcast. Every podcast has it that actually has that is monetized. They have the numbers and everything. We don't, so we don't know about those things fully. But it was a recent article that Fox and a lot of news media, because they can't get fully into podcasting as they should, because, well, nobody listens to them. Anyways, what had happened is Fox had bought an advertising company that advertises to podcasts, and Fox is technically paying Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson through that. That was the Reddit. But no, Megyn Kelly went on and said, "Is like no. They're trying to say that her show is on Fox again, or a Fox News Network type things, and they're using that as a way to say that you're doing it that way. But she actually came out and said, it's like, no, I will not be a part of that company anymore. And Tucker Carlson said the same thing. They both had to go on X and say that they flooded out each and every. It's like, if I have to change advertisement companies and everything to get away from that, which is, it might be a little bit harder since Fox now has BlackRock money. So there's that.
Yeah. Megan will never, she has said never, ever, ever work for someone again.
Yeah.
Because she loves, the cursing and being able to say just anything under the sun. Now, yeah, she's. I love it. The Megan Unleashed. I love that. Now, I have noticed that recently, well, maybe a couple of weeks, they have mentioned her and Tucker a few times on Fox programs, where for the last couple of years they've been forbidden from even saying the name. The only person who did was Greg, and you could tell he was rebelling, and they'd stare at him like, "Oh my God, you mentioned Tucker's name." So, but they're kind of
I love how
sneaking into
Tucker's
the
become kind of like
conversation.
Voldemort.
Yeah, that's how he was to Fox News. No one was able to even say his name or make a reference to him. That guy who used to be on here, except Greg Gutfeld, every once in a while he would I think he still thinks of him as a friend, and he would still mention his name, and you'd see all of the other people freeze and look at him like, I can't believe you just said that. But I don't know how much they would pound Greg. He's their golden cow right now, or cash cow.
They're getting I mean, Fox right now is the only news network that's actually pulling numbers. CNN isn't. I think they got like in 1 month, it was only because of the basic fact of the inauguration. But this month they're pulling probably around about 80,000 a month, or 84,000. They're not pulling 80,000. The same thing with MSNBC.
You did see the Variety cover, didn't you?
No. But like I said, Bill, you're more into actual watching the news on a TV. Me, I go through my news through X and YouTube, which is kind of dangerous because I'll end up saying something that I need to retract quite easily. Me and Johnny found that out one day.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. Well, that's the beautiful thing about our format, is that we can do that without having somebody come at us with like a monetary threat or a legal threat.
Yeah, we'll just say it's like, well, we got it off of X. Unless it's like UK government, because we said that people in the UK are nasty, bad teeth people. Which,
well, we could always be like ABC did during the 72 Olympics in Munich. We can be like, as we're hearing it. That's our get out of jail free card right there.
Do you see that? Late Night's new king with a bigger audience than Colbert or Fallon, Greg Gutfeld is redefining comedy on Fox News.
I believe it.
That is a true. That's a Variety cover. They discussed that, and he said the article was straightforward. It didn't get into any fluff things. It didn't embellish, but it wasn't a negative article at all. He said it was a good article.
Oh, okay. What's really, I think, isn't it not Jimmy Fallon, but
Colbert?
Not Colbert either. I think he was on NBC.
And before I boycotted Ben and Jerry and knew Colbert went just completely bizarre. American Dream was my favorite, but I won't eat it anymore. That's the Colbert Ben and Jerry's flavor, American Dream. Anyway,
Colbert is a bad day away from going full on Keith Olbermann.
That is true.
You think he's a day away? You think he's that far away?
He might be.
I think he's closer than that.
You're right. You're right. He's probably one bad paragraph away from going full Keith Olbermann. I mean, Colbert wasn't that funny when he was on the Daily Show. So, I mean, with the Colbert Report, you remember that back in the day?
Oh yeah,
He wasn't even that funny back then.
I kind of liked it.
Well, he was actually.
It was
comedy style. So.
Yeah, he was actually.
I mean, it was entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't by. He was trying to be funny. He wasn't trying to be political. He was trying to be funny, political funny. But now it's just all 100% political. And yeah, you said he's ready for just an inch away from Olbermann. Inch away from Olbermann. What got him thrown off of MSNBC? Not an inch away of what Olbermann is now, which is way worse than he was even on MSNBC. And I used to actually, I have terabytes of hard drives. Back when a terabyte of hard drive space was expensive, I used to record O'Reilly, Hannity, Keith Olbermann, Rachel Maddow, and Ed Schultz. I kept track of all of them every night. So I saw the progression.
That's in the creepy area. Yeah. But,
I had two computers that had TV tuners in them, and then I'd run a line from a cable box. So yeah, every night I had multiple recordings going. Yeah, I've been into politics. pretty deeply.
I mean, your shrine.
Ed Schultz, when he started, when Ed Schultz started drooling and dribbling on his own tie in the middle of a broadcast, you knew it was time to hang it up. I mean, just like look, it's a rainbow. Like, shut up. I mean, at a certain point, you have to sit there and go, are you having a stroke again? Like, you can't have that many brain cells left. It's physically impossible.
Now you can't play any music clips on this, can you?
5 seconds, but no.
Yeah, about 5 seconds worth.
Yeah.
Okay. Anytime we're talking about Ed Schultz, I would always put on the song "Burning Down the House."
Okay, Bill. You can't even sing the song yourself. That's how bad it is. You can say the name "Burning Down the House," but that's it.
Oh, I couldn't sing that anyway.
YouTube has a lot of weird stuff with it, and doing that, you can't sing the song. You can't anything to do with that song. Just recently, you're allowed to do it for shorts for 15 seconds.
Oh, really?
For like 15. Yeah, YouTube is. If we're only on X, we could do whatever we want. If we were on Patreon, we could do whatever we want. Well,
and do not sing "Happy Birthday" now.
I thought it's just as well. That's public domain, so we can do that. But
no, YouTube.
It's kind of like an aside here.
YouTube will take you off for "Happy Birthday." There's some vloggers.
Happy Birthday.
Yes, there's some cruise vloggers that I follow, and they a few years ago had videos demonetized because they sang "Happy Birthday" to one of the people who are in their live feed.
Really?
Yeah, just singing it themselves.
Wow.
Wow. Well, as an aside, just kind of like an aside here, I'm on 45 going through the Woodlands right now, coming into North Houston. And I have seen in the last 10 minutes 5 squatted trucks pulled over.
Really?
I didn't know that was a thing still. Yeah. Like, I didn't know that was still a thing.
You just made me think of Christmas.
What do you mean squatted trucks?
5 squatted trucks.
It means they cut the suspension in the back, and the front of the truck sits up way higher than the back.
Oh. Yeah,
or they leave the suspension stock on the back and then they raise the front only.
Dude,
It's the dumbest thing.
When I went to California to get my brother-in-law away from the Navy, I seen a not a mongoose, but a half ton, lowrider half ton.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? He's like, it's California, dude. I was like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely killed the truck. Like, you're castrating the truck.
Yeah, basically.
Now,
I mean, figuratively and literally.
Now, opposite from in the back, I used to have on my '86 Cougar, I had air shocks on it, and every once in a while, I really wanted to lift it up, and I had them install the inflator for the air shocks where you right next to the gas tank, gas filler, next to the gas filler.
Yeah.
So I would pull up to a gas station, I'd open up my gas thing, and I'd reach and grab an air hose. And I'd reach, and people would look over like, as I took an air hose and put it in my gas, it looked like I was filling up with gas, the air hose, I go, and that thing hit 120 in the back of the car, would just go like that. That was pretty cool. But you have 120 air in air shocks and you go over a speed bump, it bucks like a Bronco. I was pretty fun back then. You know, a Cougar's digital speedometer would read in reverse. And when you hit 65, 70 miles an hour in reverse, it's pretty fun. It messes with your mind because you're accelerating going into the seat belt, and then you slam the brakes on and you're pushed back in the seats. It really messes with your mind. Anyways,
that's a good hour and 30 minutes, everybody, for the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You got a little bit more informed of what's happening around the world. Well, around the United States. We're not going around the world right now.
I had a whole segment on Ukraine.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I just real quick, Dave. As far as international happenings, the videos, I don't know if you saw the videos of the Palestinians returning the bodies of those Israeli hostages. They claimed that they returned. Yeah. They claimed that it was like one of them was the body of a 10-month-old baby and its mother. The IDF and the medical examiners for Israel verified today, and it was announced that was not the mother's body. Hamas is. I mean, they returned the body of like an 86-year-old man, an 86-year-old Israeli. He was the oldest hostage that was taken, but they were supposed to return these hostages. They murdered them and then returned their bodies, and they had like this huge celebration as they're carting their coffins out of the back of this truck, right? They in return got 200 prisoners released back to them.
Oh,
like and then Hamas broke the ceasefire because they had 4 bombs that they had installed on buses. 2 didn't go off, and the other 2 detonated when the buses were back at the depot. And it was discovered that there are 450 miles of tunnels dug under the Gaza Strip, and they're full of hostages, missiles, ammunitions, bomb-making supplies, and they're all paid for internationally by places like Iran. And so I heard Martin Levin was talking about this on his show yesterday. Hamas, they get no more chances. There is no being peaceful with those people. It's not about land. It's not about. It's not even about race. I mean, it's not about national identity. It's about the fact, simply, no more, no less, the fact that it is them waging a jihad against the Jews. That is it. And I know that it's a hot take, but wipe Hamas off of the map. Like,
Yeah.
they need to be exterminated.
And if
Anyways, I just wanted to get that out.
okay, other foreign things. If you see anything on Ukraine, from any of the European leaders, from anyone, oh, Trump is doing this and he's going to do that. The Americans are going to do this and they're stupid and blah 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 blah. It's all guesses. No one knows shit. Trump holds his cards close. He isn't going to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It is all guesses. It's just like today at the press conference. He was asked, are you going to meet with Putin on March something such? And he looked really puzzled. He was like, no. And the press conference continued. So anything you come out, I haven't looked at it yet. But evidently, J.D. Vance came out with something on that, on what you're hearing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're hearing BS. And evidently, he has a big exchange on X that he did. And like I said, I haven't read it yet, but I would recommend people, maybe they check that out if they're really. I dig into the Ukraine issue. I'm watching and communicating with people in Europe for probably at least 2 or 3 hours a night. So I'm watching the Ukraine situation really close, and it's just a lot of guesses flying about. Americans are going to do this, and they're alienating this, and no, don't follow it. Don't go with that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff right now is speculation with Ukraine. That's why I haven't really covered it all too much. We don't know what's going on and what kind of issues that he's having getting everybody. There is at one point in time last week, I could have told you President Trump isn't talking to Zelensky, and he's only talking to Putin. And this week, guess what he was doing? He was talking to Zelensky. Right now, that whole clusterfuck that happened during the Biden administration, which it shouldn't have happened to begin with. It was a rumbling thing that happened since 2014 during the Obama administration.
But you look at the head of the EU, you gotta get Ursula. She comes out and there's all anti-Trump Americans, bad, and then she'll come out, and this is what you have to look for when the leaders come out and actually make a comment. She's like, "Yeah, I met with Kellogg today, and yeah, we need to work with the Americans on this." So you see that, but you look at the citizens, especially the German citizens, who are just. The majority of them are total nut jobs. They're lost to the World Economic Forum, and they're all evil Americans. But then watch the leaders when one of our guys meets with them, and it'll be a short statement, but you can tell they're on board with whatever Trump has going on, whatever he has actually shared with them. So watch out for all the negative guessing. Just pay attention. Sometimes when those leaders make a single sentence statement on, I actually met with Rubio and it went good, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you pay attention to. But I'm paying attention to everything. All of the guesses, all of the people are pro-America, all of the people are anti-American, the whole undercurrent and I have a friend in Germany I communicate with, and his big thing is ADF or Nazis. But he's with a Christian conservative government in Germany. The German government is, when you dig into that, there's so many different political parties, and the way they hold power and the way they can gang up on each other against one of the other parties, it gets fascinating. But anyway, I keep a close eye on Europe and Australia.
Well, talking about that, now we close up. Every time I'm wanting to close out the show, either you or Johnny was like, I got one more word in.
And this is not an official sponsor, but
I
do
just thought
highly
that the
recommend
Israeli
Bucky.
thing was worth. I just thought the Israeli thing was worth mentioning because
It was.
I
It
mean,
Yeah,
was.
it was. It was.
really,
Even the Ukraine
So-
thing is still good to mention and everything.
I wanted to get the warning of Ukraine out so people can be looking for that when they see all this information coming, that most of it's bullshit.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you all for watching, listening. Even though you don't comment, look for our shows. 2 of the shows are going to stay on Angry Me Production. Our new show, Ding 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 podcast, which we talk about wrestling. That is up and running. We only have 1 episodes down and 4 shorts. But me and Trey is working on that. So, anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Wild
I'm Johnny
William.
Skelton.
And thank you all for watching, and thank you all for listening. Goodbye.